Today at the Mississippi Trade Mart for the Mississippi Farm Bureau and AgUP, a sale of champions. Really enjoyed the interview with Leighton Varner on the C Spire text line. Bart in Columbus says, young people like her give me hope for the future of Mississippi. I totally agree with you, Bart. Appreciate you sending that in. We welcome to the program now Jacob Moorehead, rodeo announcer, producer, Harper and Morgan. Jacob, thanks for coming on. Dixie National in town.
Yes, sir. It's that time again. You know, we start that countdown a day after it ends in 2023. We find ourselves right back here on the old Mississippi Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It is the one.
The greatest show on dirt.
You bet. Proud to bring it back to town. 9 performances coming our way. And we bring to town all the things that truly make rodeo special.
Yeah, so anytime you, of course, talk about the Dixie National Rodeo, you have to remember the great Mike Mathis, who sadly passed away not too long ago in December. Middle
of December. We were at the National Finals Rodeo, and I don't think he'd had it any other way.
Yeah.
Just laid down to go to bed one night, and that was it. And I tell you what, a great man in an institution. Had an opportunity the other day to visit at our kickoff press conference about Mike, and you know, he's from Lufkin, Texas, Angelina County, Texas, over in Deep East Texas, and that's where his head was. He was a big part of everything there, a committee chairman of his own medium-sized pro rodeo that has lots of success over the years, and he never let me say this, but now he's passed away, so I can. His heart was here. Jackson, Mississippi was his big one. And he did Fort Smith, Arkansas, the days of 47 in Salt Lake City, Utah, the National Finals steer roping, the National Finals rodeo as an alternate one year. Doesn't matter. Jackson, Mississippi is where he came in the late 90s, worked with Phil Gardenhire, who was the guy here. And boy, there shortly after turn of the millennium, he was the guy here, an institution, so much more than an announcer, but a friend to everybody in Jackson, knew everybody. I came here in 2012 and to work alongside him, and as a production person, and he was worked in the truck marketing business as well on the side, and I did that with him, and I was just blown away. And all of the relationships here in Jackson that he put me in as part of him, there'd be no way to succeed going forward if I didn't have that foundation that he paved the way for. And the fun thing was this show right here in 2023, we were putting together some things for his services and going forward, some tributes that we've done at rodeos leading up to this, Lafayette, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana, where he was also part of what took place there and those successful rodeos. And that entire presentation of his memorials based around the SuperTalk interview he gave here last year. You gave him an opportunity to tell his story.
Remember it well.
And he wouldn't do that very much. Very humble guy. It was hard to get that out of him. But here in Jackson, again, you know, it felt like home. Like Liesl Harris used to say all the time, another institution here of 40-plus years. Jackson's like coming home. Jackson's our excuse to do our best. When we build something to go to a rodeo somewhere in the wintertime, one of our other 22 performances we do it this way because it's how we're going to do it at Jackson.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Well, and honestly, Jacob, your description of his personality, I guess, outside of his duties as the announcer at the rodeo, they seem to really ring through when he was announcing the rodeo. I mean, I think that was exhibited.
It's a perfectionist thing. By now, you know, we start tomorrow night. By now, if I didn't have him his notes on, because I'm the rodeo production manager, if I didn't have him his notes on how these openings are going to go, how the show flow is going to go, can you get me numbers on the sale of champions? Because he's going to go back to his office, he's going to put that together, and he's going to write it down, but he's not going to carry a piece of paper out there in the arena.
Right.
He is going to have it all right here. And that level of perfectionism is a lost and dying art, just like riding a horse. I'm having to replace him at his hometown rodeo in Lufkin, and you want to talk about an absurd tall order. Finding somebody that will ride a horse, finding somebody that's articulate, finding somebody that cares to educate more than entertain. he was that guy.
Yeah.
He could strike that balance, and people just felt at home. People knew when he rode through the gate on that horse, maybe he'll give me the pair of boots. A big part of everything here that's steeped in tradition. Now, say all that to say that the rodeo is going to move forward. It's going to be a huge success, and we're bringing the right people in to take up that mantle.
So, Jacob, in your experience with rodeos, does this rodeo, so you're talking about how Mike sort of saw this as the standard, and would say this is the way we're planning to do it in Jackson, and thus we're going to do it elsewhere. Does this rodeo get discussed at other rodeos and people that are just on the circuit?
So an exciting thing about this rodeo, this is largest rodeo in the southeastern circuit, one of the largest. The pro rodeo is broken into 12 circuits nationwide. But another fun thing, everybody is vying for a chance to go to the national finals rodeo. $10,000 added rodeos such as this are called large indoor rodeos. It puts us on the same stage as Houston, San Antonio, large indoor rodeo, San Angelo.
Yep.
And so that's us. We're also part of the Cinch Playoff Series and an opportunity to go to $1 Million Added Rodeo in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the end of the calendar, or the end of the competition year. Okay. That is the top 60 rodeos in the country. They're hand-picked by the committee. These are the rodeos that will qualify you to the Cinch Playoffs or the Governor's Cup. Okay. All right? In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, giving you an opportunity to make that last push to the NFR. So not only do the prize dollars from here count toward the NFR, you're also qualifying for an opportunity to go to this $1 Million Added Rodeo in Sioux Falls at the end of the competition year as part of the Cinch Playoff Series. So that also gives us that added weight of that. Okay, so the respect, the status that this rodeo has earned is recognized throughout the country. Well, we have that foundation built by the legendary Steiner Rodeo Company, the XS, and then James Harper, Ralph Morgan over in Lauderdale. Yeah. They took this thing over 40-plus years ago and really turned it into what it is today. It's gone through several different owners. Our new executive producer and owner, Rory Lemmel, has been around the rodeo game forever. He thinks outside the box. He is responsible for the Cinch Governor's Cup, and he brings that same level of enthusiasm and excitement here with the personnel that he hires. The fact that we're 2 weekends now, we're back to pyro and rock and roll, while not forgetting the roots and tradition that make the Dixie National great. So, we want to keep that old rodeo feel alive, but we want people to be excited to come here as well. Yeah. And, all that plays through. We try to work it out. We'll have that more traditional feel the first week, and we'll really amp things up that second week here and turn up the heat a little bit. Both of them are exciting and great. We just want to make sure that we cover all our bases while making people feel like they're at a rodeo, but they're having a great time too. Yeah. So, by sort of diversifying the schedule and the events and the entertainment acts, you're really appealing to a much broader audience. You bet. And changing things up. Used to be we had an act. We ran it through the entire event. We'd have Mike announce the rodeo. We have 2 announcers now. They're going to do a great job. I'm actually not an announcer. I'm just the production manager. Okay. Andy Stewart announced the National Finals Rodeo in 2019. He's actually been here with Mike for years, announcing sponsorships and such as that. He'll take over this year as the sole announcer on the front. And then for the second week, we're going to bring in Pro Rodeo's 2-time announcer of the year, Garrett Yergin. Very exciting young man, originally from Oklahoma. He now makes his home to the west side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And he'll come in the second week, work alongside Andy in tandem, give us that real TV feel, as we're going to be on national television as well via the Cowboy Channel. Tim Leopard from up in Pontotoc is going to be our specialty act. He'll have the monkeys riding the border collies. Team Ghost Riders will be here. And then for that second week, Rodeo's 15-time specialty act of the year, John Payne, the one-armed bandit. He's back by popular demand after probably a 20-year hiatus. Yeah. He'll put his horses, his Mustangs, and maybe a zebra on top of a truck and trailer inside of the arena. So the entertainment portfolio is there. We'll have the concerts, the big acts, the sound, the lights, the stage, all the things that make the Dixie National, and the standard of rodeo east of the Mississippi. That's amazing. Before we go here, what about the facilities?
where the Dixie National is conducted. How do we rate versus the others in the country?
The level of refurbishment that this place has been through in the last few years, I'm sure everyone in Mississippi notices. You know, there's some rodeos that are in some world-class places, and we're making those changes. Or Michael Laster, the team here at the Mississippi Fairgrounds, the commissioner, is making all the changes necessary to keep us as a top-tier facility. So we're really gunning towards that. New Trade Mart, upgraded facilities in the Coliseum, giving the stock show folks a chance to.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to a fantastic, greatest show on dirt. Appreciate it, Jacob Moorehead. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you.
We're stepping aside for a break right here. We're coming back with Jamie Swafford, the marketing manager of AgUP Equipment. Once again, we're at the Mississippi Trade Mart for the Mississippi Farm Bureau and AgUP Sale of Champions. Stay with